and welcome to the Read All Over show presented by Lit Carnivale and me, your host, Toy Thomas, author, blogger, and reading advocate. I am so excited to share today's guest with you. Sherry Ellis is an award-winning author who brings laughter, adventure, and imagination to young readers everywhere. Sherry lives in Atlanta, Georgia, and enjoys music, travel, and inspiring kids to explore their own creativity. Let's meet her. Hi, Sherry.
Hi, Toy. I'm so excited to be here. Thanks for having me.
Yes, I'm excited. I have interviewed lots of different people throughout the years, but I'm always excited to interview someone who writes children's books. So this should be fun.
Yes.
So I like to start by getting to know people in terms of who they are as a reader. I feel like if you're a writer, at some point you were also a reader. So that's where we're going to start with what I call on the bookshelf. What would you say was your favorite book as a kid?
Uh, I would say James and the Giant Peach by Rodell. I loved that book. I think it was in the second grade, and my teacher would read after lunch to us, and we'd have like a chapter a day. And I could not wait till she would just come in and read the chapter to see what's going to happen next. So I'd say that was my all-time favorite. I think that's what inspired me to become an author myself. Just that excitement and, just what's happening next.
That's really cool. I like that. Do you like other Roald Dahl books, or is that just like your favorite one?
I think that's my favorite one. Yeah, I think that's my favorite.
Yeah, I find that some of his stuff is a little like when I look back on it, some of it's kind of scary, but it's still really like funny, and so
Uh-huh.
it can definitely bring out a kid's imagination.
Right, right.
All right. So, what is there? This one is a little bit a different question. Is there a book that's like really, really popular that didn't really resonate with you, or vice versa? Is there a book that you felt like really resonated with you, but maybe didn't get as much love as you thought it should?
Hmm. Well, I wasn't entirely enamored with the Twilight series. I mean, it was okay, but it got a lot of rave reviews, and this is all wonderful. And I think Fifty Shades of Grey was also another one of those things. Like, what kind of writing is this? So I don't, I didn't understand why that got such rave reviews. I did watch the movies of the Twilight series, and I enjoyed the movies. I think vampires are cool, werewolves are
Yeah,
cool, but
yeah.
I just never really understood how this book got to be as big as it did.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, it was really like a phenomenon. Like I remember when it was happening, and I too was just like, I get it, but maybe I don't get it. Like
Uh,
it was just like, I don't know. I like you, I like vampires and werewolves, but there was just something about it that I was just like, okay, it's a little different, but just like everybody was just like talking about it. So I can relate to that.
right, right. But you know what? Good for the author for coming up with this stuff and did well, so yay to her.
Exactly. Yeah. Um, And the last question I think I'm going to ask, just so we can move on and get to the really like nitty gritty stuff, is how many books would you say you read in a year?
Oh my gosh. I would say at least one book a week. So we're talking like at least 52, maybe more. I mean, right now I'm reading four at a time, so I don't know, probably hundreds, and I'm just not even keeping track of it. But I'm a very avid reader and over multiple genres.
Yeah, me too. Some people, when I tell them that I read more than one book at a time, they're like, how do you do that? And I'm like, how do I not do that?
You're right, right. There's just so
Yeah.
much, and they're not all the same books. Like I'm reading physics right now, oddly enough. You're right. So I don't get that mixed up with the historical fiction that I'm reading. They're all different, so I can keep track of it in my head.
That's a really good point. I never thought of it that way, that when I am reading multiple books, they are usually like very different. I'm not reading like the same genre multiple times. But yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
Right.
I think it's so cool that everybody has different like reading styles and preferences. And so when I meet someone who is like me reading multiple books at a time, I get really excited. So that's cool. All right. So now we're going to move into what I like to call the open book. And this is where we're going to get to learn a little bit more about you as a writer, since that's really what intrigues me. I know the readers are probably waiting for the segments that are coming later, but for us writers, I love learning about people's like writing processes and things like that. So, We're gonna start with what was the first thing that you wrote that really made you feel confident to call yourself a writer to like other people?
I think it was my first middle grade book, Bubba and Squirt's Big Dig to China. That was my first traditionally published book, and it took me 10 years to get it published, and that was countless revisions. So I felt like I'd finally reached a place where it was accepted by a traditional publisher, like it was validation that I'm actually writing good stuff that people want to read. So that would be my first book.
Cool, I like that. And I've read some of your Bubba and Squirt stuff. They're wonderful characters.
Oh, thank you.
What would you say is more important to you now that you've, been doing this for a while? Hopefully you have some kind of comfort zone that you're like, going into. Is it more important for you to kind of fill that creative cup and be a writer? Or is it more important for you to publish and share your stories with the public?
I think at this point, I know I've been doing this for 21 years. I think it's about just following my muse and being creative. Some people try to go for the trends and, try to guess what's the next thing that's going to be selling. But I really just do what I like. So, I pick something. I like historical fiction, so I'll write historical fiction. I got excited about my most recent book because it's America's 250th birthday. So, I wanted to do something for that. So it's really about following my own muse now, and that's what makes it so fun.
I like that. Follow your muse. So with that kind of going in line with that, you talked a little bit about, Bubba and Squirts, that Dig to China being that one that really made you feel like a writer. How do you know in your writing process when a story that you've written is actually ready to be shared with the public?
Ah, that's a good question. I don't think you ever get to the point where it's like always 100% perfect because even the books that I have published now, I look back, oh, I should have done this maybe a little bit different here.
Yeah.
But I think for me, it's working with my critique group and getting their validation because it's not just what I'm seeing. Um, that is when I feel when the critique group says, "Yeah, this is really good. It's ready." Then I'll start submitting it, and then I get the feedback from the publishers or the editors there, and I could work on a few more things. But I think that's really it, getting the validation from other writers that it's good.
No, that's a really good point. I think sometimes people don't realize how much writing can actually be a collaborative effort. And, you hear that saying writing is a solitary activity, but
Mhm.
it does become collaborative when you are, including other people's opinions who you actually care about, not just some random person, other writers, editors, critique groups. So I think it's wonderful that you take all of that into consideration when you're gonna, share something with the world.
Right, and that's one thing I would advise any writer to do is to get involved with other writers. I mean, of course, they critique you and they give you good feedback and say, hey, this isn't working, or give you things to think about that you probably didn't think about. But they
Yeah.
also are there for you to help get the word out about the book. So I really think it's an important thing to get involved with other writers, either through writing clubs or through other critique groups.
Yeah, I 100% agree with that. I think the writing community, once you really get involved with it, can be one of the most supportive communities out there. So if you want to grow as a writer, connect with other writers.
Absolutely.
Fantastic.
Mhm.
All right, so now we're going to shift gears a little bit into what I call the book signing. And this is where we get to talk about your baby, whichever one of your babies you want to. I call authors' books their babies because we put so much into them. So let's talk about it. Which title do you want to dive into today?
I think I'll go with my most recent one. It's a picture book. It's called Happy Birthday to Us, and it really is in time for the celebration of America's 250th birthday.
Yes, perfect timing. So, what inspired you to write this book?
Okay, so this is an interesting story. So, in addition to being a writer, I'm also a musician and I'm an executive director for an orchestra. So, a couple of years ago, we were working on the music programming for the orchestra for the 2025-2026 season. And we realized, okay, this is going to be America's 250th birthday. Let's get some music that kind of can represent that. So immediately my author brain just kicked into gear and said, hey, this would be a great opportunity to have a book that comes out for America's 250th birthday. So then I was thinking, what can I write about? And then this idea came to me that it would be so cool to have a kid who has the birthday on the same day as the 4th of July.
Yeah.
And this kid thinks that it's all about him, the parades, the fireworks, all about him. And then his kind of character development would be to understand that, hey, it's not about him. It's about the United States. It's about community, and it's about freedom. So that was where it came from, and I just had such a fun time coming up with all the different things that could be happening for both a birthday and the 4th of July.
That's awesome. I love that inspiration and the idea of connecting it with the kid and his birthday. I love that.
Um,
That's fantastic. So you mentioned that it is a picture book. So how much of a say did you have in the illustrations of the book?
Surprisingly, a lot. Usually with traditional publishers, it's just whatever the publisher's in-house author comes up with, and you just get to be surprised. But I had a lot of say. Like even in the cover of the book, there was an original design where there was the boy with the cake and the guinea pig and the cat on the cover, and there wasn't a whole lot of 4th of July stuff. So I actually did my own little scribble and I said, hey, let's make it look very festive, 4th of July. So if somebody looking at this book has no doubt that this is a 4th of July book. So I did my little sketch. I'm not a great illustrator at all, but I gave my sketch to the publisher and she shared it with the illustrator. And what the illustrator came up with was just amazing. So I was excited to have a say in what the cover would look like. And I had a little bit of feedback here and there. Like they'd show me the illustrations as they were coming along. Um, there was one point, I'm glad they actually did share the illustrations, where there was a flag. It was supposed to be the flag back in the time of the Revolutionary War, and it looked like she had the Confederate flag up there. Like, wait a minute, that's not right.
Right.
So I had to have her correct that. But I was really excited, and just I would keep seeing the pictures come as they were being illustrated. And it was just such a fun process, just to see the sketches and then the illustrations come to life.
Well, that's really good to hear. I mean, I'm so glad that you got to be a part of the process. Like you said, I have a little bit of experience where I know that when you are the writer and someone else is the illustrator and you're working with a publisher, you don't always get to have that synergy, that sharing of information. And I think it's wonderful that you got to do that for your book.
Yeah, I was really grateful for that opportunity.
That's cool. So, what are some of the things that you've done to help promote this book? Obviously, you're here with me today. Thank you.
Yeah, so I'm doing a lot on social media. I've done some book signings. I've actually done a whole bunch of them at Kroger. They have an authors in grocery store
That's true.
signing
Yeah.
thing. So
Yeah.
I'm doing really well with that, surprising. You wouldn't think, but I just sit there with all my books and people come up, oh, you're an author. This is so
Yeah.
cool. I've never met an author. Or you
Yeah.
get other people who want to write books and they want to ask you a million questions about the whole
Yeah.
thing. But
Yeah.
it's fun, just getting out there. So I have that. I have it in several awards. So we'll see what happens with that. But
Yeah.
that's good marketing if you get something.
Yeah.
And I've just been getting a lot of reviews for it. My publisher was great. She's applied for Kirkus Review and it got a wonderful recommended review from Kirkus.
Oh, that's nice.
So, just getting it out there, making the book trailer, just anything I can do to put it. Oh, and I did a book tour as well. I just got done with that as a month-long book
Oh,
tour from Silver Dagger. And I
wow.
may do another one with the children's book review awareness tour. We'll see.
Cool. Wow. Yes, you are definitely doing the thing to get the word out. I like it. Um,
Right.
and I love the fact that you mentioned the whole partnership with like Kroger and authors. A lot of people don't know about that, but it is a really good program. And I love to hear when people are like taking advantage of that.
Yeah.
I'd say the last question that I want is so you do you so this is this your first picture book or have you done other picture books?
I've done other picture books. I self-published four before this one. My first one was in 2005, and I had a lot to learn at that time. That baby woke me up again. But that, that was the first one, and then That Mama's a Grouch, and then I had two more after that. And this one, Happy Birthday to Us, is my first traditionally published picture book. So I'm really excited about that. So yeah, I have experience with writing picture books and trying to find illustrators for the picture books. And I just really enjoy it because it's so much fun to see your words come to life through the illustrations.
Yeah, I love that. I'm so excited. And I'm so glad that you mentioned your book trailer because we're going to be sharing that with our listeners at the end of our interview. I'm so excited about that.
Yay.
So I'm glad to know about some of the work that you have. We've learned about your picture books. We know that you have the middle grade books, but now we're going to shift gears and get to know you as a person. Just ask some silly questions that I like to call "Don't judge a book by its cover." And so, who knows what I'm going to be asking? Nothing too crazy, but let's dive into it. So the first thing, let's see here. Okay. So let's say it's up to you to decide the fate of the future. Moving forward, you can only wear your hair in one of three ways. What is it going to be? Is it going to be a mullet, a mohawk, or an afro?
Oh, Afro. That looks cool. So cool. Afro all the way.
Yes, I 100% agree. I miss my afro. I'm not going to pick it out right now, but if I had to be stuck with it, I'd be out to here. Yes,
Yeah, yeah, fun.
yes, love it. Um, what is one material item that you cannot live without?
My viola. I am a professional musician. I love my viola. That's how I make my money. I mean, I would be lost without my viola.
Yeah. I wouldn't consider that material though, because I feel like there are certain things that like that instrument is like a part of you. So yeah, I
Hmm.
get that. Nice.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, now this one is a really cuckoo question. So this is one I had to ask around because I was like, I want to come up with some different questions. So I want you to think about the potential of having to babysit a young Wednesday Adams. So let's say she's 3 years
Oh,
old. What are 5 things you need to survive babysitting a young Wednesday Adams?
oh my gosh. A lot of patience for sure. A sense of humor.
Mhm.
Very creative because this girl's creative and you got to be like quicker than she is. A huge list of activities. Let's see, what else? What does she eat?
Weird stuff.
Yeah, weird diet stuff, like a weird cookbook. Maybe like a monster cookbook or something.
I
So you
like
can,
that.
yeah, so you can do some activities like making food for her. Keep her
Yeah,
quiet for a while.
I like that. So yeah, I mean, I figure I think if I remember correctly, her character doesn't wear or eat anything with color. So all of your food would either have to be black or white. So that would be interesting.
Oh, black. That's fun. Black licorice, black frosting,
Yeah.
cool. Burnt food with black charcoal on it.
What is it? Squid ink on everything.
Yeah, I like that.
That could be interesting. Yeah.
Actually, I could write a book about this.
You totally could. All right, Sherry, we have come to the end. I'm so excited. This was fun. Before we share your trailer with our listeners, why don't you go ahead and just tell people where they can find you and your work online?
Okay, so I have a website. It's sherryellis.org. I'm also on Goodreads and I have an Amazon author page, so you can find me anywhere there.
Awesome. Thank you so much. So, just as a reminder, Sherry does have a special reading that she's going to be offering to our paid subscribers. So, if you are interested in that, be sure to check us out at litcarnivale.substack.com. But until next time, guys, I want you to stay safe, be blessed, and have fun reading.
Celebrate America's 250th birthday with Happy Birthday to Us. Join a young child as he discovers that the parades, fireworks, and fanfare aren't just for his birthday, but for America's, too. Bursting with joyful rhymes and colorful illustrations. This heartwarming story teaches kids about freedom, community, and the spirit of Independence Day. Perfect for classrooms, family story times, and sparking pride in America's 250th birthday.
Directed by Carnivale. Read All Over Show logo designed and trademarked by Lit Carnivale and Toy Thomas. Intro sequence designed by Toy Thomas with the use of royalty-free images sourced from pexels.com as well as a featured guest image. Intro music Sunset Dream by Teal, royalty-free. Images provided by Sherry Ellis. Toy Thomas, Lit Carnivale, multiple words, claim any rights to the images or video content provided. Happy birthday to us. Book trailer provided by Sherry Ellis and book design advertisement provided by Toy Thomas. This episode contains copyright material, affiliate links and references, and trademark images and merchandise. Please visit our website to learn more at https://litcarnivale.com. Be sure to subscribe, like, comment, and share. Thanks to the Lit Carnivale, Read All Over Show community at Substack, YouTube, and wherever you can hear this podcast. Have fun reading.